right. Just gonna get started here. So I'm just ending my night off with a very small spliff. Let's first start by getting this out of the way, yeah? I work in the medical cannabis industry. And for me to work in the industry and not consume cannabis myself is going to be one of the greatest challenges, right? So I'm just going to put it out there. I work in the medical cannabis industry. At the end of the night, sometime throughout the day, I like to spark one of these up. And what it does for me may be different for other people. But for me personally, this thing here helps me get into, I would say, a very good thinking space. So the reason why I decided to come out here tonight and really just spark one of these up, right, is because this is who I am at the moment. This is the game that I'm playing. I'm in the cannabis industry, operating out of Australia, located in Canada, and it's part of my game. So why am I not sharing this experience that I'm going through? Okay. So if cannabis isn't for you, that's okay. I've done my own personal research, actively working in the industry with my peers, my colleagues, my friends, my family, and we're learning a lot about this plant. And this plant is doing a lot for patients in Australia and all over the world. So now that I've got that out of the way, the intent of tonight's conversation is going to be about faith and pain. Some very quick thoughts that I have until I finish this here, but I want to share this with you guys because I feel like it applies to anyone who is going through some sort of pain. I believe we're all going through pain in our lives, and our pain is subjective. Our pain is relative to what we're going through, and not all pain is the same, but I want to share it because I do believe what I'm about to share tonight. Hopefully I can walk you through different levels of awareness and consciousness, and how pain and faith are highly correlated together. So where this thought came from has to do with my own personal physical pain that I'm going through. You know, this time last year, I couldn't lift a single weight. This time last year, I could barely walk. I could barely stand. I spent most of my day laying on the floor. And it wasn't until one of the doctors that we were working with out in Australia, Dr. Kane, I won't give his full name, but Dr. Kane, someone that we worked with last year, he gave me an online consult. Based out in Perth, Australia, has never met me before in person. We've only met on Zoom, and he gave me a consult. I wanted to understand what was going on with my lower back pain. Because this pain had put me out of commission. It put me in a state where I was unsure of where my future would end up. I was unsure of whether or not I would be able to walk ever again. I was unsure of whether or not business and my survival will be taken care of. I was afraid. I've been going through this back pain my entire life, And for some reason, I still don't know what it is yet, but I'm starting to get an idea. You know, it having to do with stress, it having to do with change in my life. But last year the pain came and it hit me like a ton of bricks. And it felt like I was debilitated. I couldn't do anything. Slept on the floor for most of the day, worked on my stomach or worked on my back with a laptop on my stomach. And it was a very painful experience. So last year I had a consult with Dr. Kane, and he called me out of my shit. You know, he said, if you don't use it, you'll lose it. You know, what the fuck are you doing laying on the floor? You should be getting up and getting your steps in, even though it hurts. You know, for 2.5 months, guys, I spent my time on the floor, living through the pain, afraid to get up and walk. And it wasn't until someone called me out that it clicked. There's a spiritual level to this, yeah, but I'm just gonna stay at the physical realm for a bit. But Dr. Kane called me out of my shit. He said, you know why you're in pain, Kenny? It's because you're laying on the fucking floor. You're in pain because you're not doing anything about it. You're in pain because you're not getting up and moving. I was averaging anywhere from 300 to 500 steps per day, and that was to get up, to go to the bathroom, to get up, to get food, to get water, and to lay back down. I didn't walk any of my dogs. I didn't do anything, and Judy was at home supporting and helping me through it all. So what does that have to do with faith? Yeah? I was in pain, and I've been in pain in terms of physical pain my entire life. And I'm only starting to become aware now that pain will always be there. Similar to my back pain, it has always been there. How do you overcome it? You work with it. The only way to overcome pain is to lean into the pain, to work with the pain. Yes, my back was fucking hurting, but I got a walking stick and I forced myself to walk. And I started to measure how far I was walking again. It went from 500 to 1,000 per day, 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 4 to 5, all the way up to 10, and even up to 16,000 over the last 10 months. Yeah? And that's because I chose and made the decision to work with the pain, because pain will always be there. And I knew that if I leaned into the pain and just worked with it, things will work itself out. And what do I mean when things will work itself out? That's just faith. Faith that things will be okay, because I had no choice. 31 years old. I can either lay on the floor, be in pain for the rest of my life, and not do anything about it, be afraid of the pain and not want to do anything, not want to stand up and just walk. I can stay afraid, or I can get up and walk. And so I walked. I walked and I walked and I walked. Fast forward to this year. Last year I couldn't walk. This year I'm lifting weights again. And that to me personally is what I am grateful for and I'm appreciative of. It's because I had faith and I still have faith that I will recover. Because even though I'm working out again, even though I'm moving the way that I'm moving again, it still hurts. I still feel the pain tremendously, but my mind and my body has been able to tolerate the pain, and I've been able to work through the pain and work with the pain to get better. Now I'm just explaining to you the physical side. Did that pass? I'm just sharing with you the physical realm now. Okay, but a lot of it has to do with emotional as well. Now, I won't use the same example to tell the emotional side. I want to use Riley as the emotional side. And I'll demonstrate to you emotional pain, okay? So February 18th, February 16th, 2023, I fly to Melbourne to visit my team, to visit my friends, and to build our cannabis business. And the day that I land in Melbourne, February 18th, 2023, the day that I land in Melbourne, I find out that my beautiful dog, Riley, had passed away. It wasn't a peaceful death, but it was a traumatic one. It was a traumatic one for my partner Judy. It was a traumatic one for her sister, and in ways it was traumatic for me because I just landed in Melbourne and my dog passes away. Now, before and on my way flying to Melbourne, I prayed. I prayed for God to take care of my family. I prayed for God to take care of Judy, to take care of Jax and Riley. And I prayed that Judy and her sister would be able to walk Riley properly the way that I can confidently. And I say that because I work from home. I'm with the dogs every single day. I walk them 2 to 3 times per day while Judy goes and works full-time in order to grow this empire and this dream that we have for each other. And she passes away the day that I land. And that hit me like a ton of bricks, because what are the odds? What are the odds of something like that happening, and it happening on the very first day that I land in Melbourne? So you can obviously tell that there was a lot of emotional pain. Riley came into my life during a time where, once again, I hit rock bottom, yeah? It may not appear as though I hit rock bottom, but career-wise, turbulence in business during the time of COVID as well, it felt like I was at rock bottom. And I think Riley came at a time where it just rejuvenated my confidence again. It gave me something to work on while turbulence within business was just not working out well. But I had faith. I had faith that things would work out. I had faith that things would be okay. And Riley and Jax and Judy were there to ride it out with me to get us to where we are today. So when Riley passed away, I had no choice but to work with that pain. I had no choice but to be there for Judy, because she was alone. She got to witness and see Riley pass away, and she was alone. And I didn't know how to help. I couldn't fly back. I went to Melbourne for a purpose, for a mission, and I couldn't go back. And our dog passed away on the very first day that I got there, and I couldn't do anything to help Judy. I couldn't do anything to be there for her. I couldn't be there to say goodbye to Riley one last time. So there was emotional pain at the beginning of my trip, yeah? But I had to lean into it. I had to see the good in the experience that I was going through. Yes, Riley may have passed away, but what did she do for me? What did she do for us while she was here? She helped one of our friends, get a girlfriend because he walked her and he bumped into another girl with a dog and they've been together now for 7 months. That's because of Riley. She helped me through a time of turbulence, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, especially during the COVID years, yeah? So you have to lean into the pain. When pain is there, you have to lean into it. So I went from physical to emotional. Now let's go to the highest level, as high as we can possibly go. And I'm speaking to my brothers and sisters. I hope that who I'm speaking to right now, and if you're still listening to this, I'm speaking to the right people. I know that what I share is not for the faint of heart. I know that what I share tends to get people uncomfortable, and that's okay. My message is not for everyone, but my message are for my brothers and sisters. Not my blood brothers and sisters, but for you. Whoever's listening to this right now. Pain is all around us. We go and we walk in this physical world. We go and we live our everyday life. And pain is always going to present itself in some way, shape, or form. Pain is always going to be up here depending on how we view life and how we view the world. For me, I used to let pain consume me. It's why I was overweight. It's why I would binge drink alcohol. It's why it's felt so hard to go down this entrepreneurship journey. But I needed to go through all of that pain. Just like you have to go through all of the pain that you go through because it teaches you lessons about yourself. It teaches you how to navigate through the challenges of life, because when you do navigate through the challenges of life, you start to get better. Your life starts to improve. And when your life starts to improve, it means you're doing something to change the experience that you're going through. Pain is just a feedback mechanism. It teaches you about yourself. You have the yin and the yang. You have the good and the bad. You have the right and the wrong. You have the pleasure. You have the pain. You need to work with both, because when you work with both, there's no longer any duality. Duality is division. It's one or the other. Duality is this or that. People want all the pleasure without the pain. People want to be so fucking good in this world without ever being evil. You can't. There's a balance in nature. There's a balance in reality. There's a balance in how this game works. It's just how nature works. So if you want the pleasure, you have to go through the pain. You have to accept the pain, and you have to embrace the pain, and just have full faith that when you embrace in the pain, good things will come. Life doesn't happen to you, it happens for you. You go through life to experience the pain, the challenges, and when you overcome them, you gain experience in this game of life, and it progresses you in the game. And when you progress in the game, what happens? You feel good. You experience better things. Your reality and your perspective changes. And that's life. That's what I want to share with you guys. Over a spliff. And I guess this is my way of doing transformative thoughts. Whether I'm smoking or not, I'm always sitting here reflecting, visualizing how my life is unfolding. Taking notes of how this life is happening for me, and deciding on how I want to play, what my next action is. Coming down here to record this video is one of my actions. I don't know who's going to listen to this, but like I said, this video is directed to my brothers and sisters. We don't have to be related to be brothers and sisters, yeah? Energetically, spiritual beings, we're all the same. We're just going through life our own way. We're experiencing what we need to experience. God, the universe, brings certain people into your life for a reason, to teach you about yourself, to teach you more about this game of life, to teach you how you want to play. And then you just take the next step. You just play. And this is me playing. I, Kenny, in this game, I'm currently an entrepreneur in the medical cannabis space out in Australia. We are changing the way patients, the way the Australian market, to start with, views cannabis. We're changing the way people approach healthcare. Yes, I'm talking about cannabis here. I would rather consume some cannabis oil. I would rather vape or smoke some flower than lean on big pharma. And that's part of going towards the pain as well. The conflict of what's right or wrong. People look at this. People like my mother, who I know is going to watch this. They look at this and they say, what are you doing? Why are you smoking on camera? Why are you posting this on social media? Well, you know what? It's the industry that I work in, and there's no right or wrong. It's just how I'm currently playing the game, and I'm going to lean into it. So I hope you guys got some value out of this. This is who I am, man. You know? Every day I do the same shit. Every day I get creative up here, and then I implement it up in my office so that I can create the opportunity for more options in this world to do what I want to do, to experience the things that I want to experience with the people that I love in this lifetime. And that's it. And hopefully along the way, by sharing this experience with you guys and using it as a documentation for myself, someone will get something from this. At least one person. And whoever that one person is, I want to hear from you. Because I want to connect with other players in this game. And there's not a lot of us out there. And if you made it to the end, I'd say, you know, you're playing the game. And I respect you for that. And I want to say thank you for listening to this entire thing. Alright? Take care. Catch you in the next one.